We'll call the meeting to order. The October 28th Select Board meeting. Bill, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first business to approve minutes from October 15th, 2019, regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve those minutes as written.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain, I was absent.
October 15th, 2019, non-public meeting minutes.
I move that we accept the non-public minutes as written.
Have a second?
Do you have those minutes?
No, why do I not have them?
Do we have those minutes?
I think we're in here. We don't have them.
All right, we'll move these to the, to our next meeting. We'll move on. Thank you for making note of that. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. Regular meeting, 6 p.m. Tuesday, November 12th, and Monday, November the 25th, 2019. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. All of the above meetings will be held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the town hall before 12 p.m. the Friday before the scheduled meeting. Alternate members are always needed to fill positions on the zoning and planning boards. If interested, please submit a letter of intent to the Plymouth Selectboard office, 6 Post Office Square, Plymouth, New Hampshire, 03264. Main Street Trick and Treating will be held on Thursday, October 31st, 2019, from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. The Pemmy Youth Center will also be holding a haunted house during these hours for preschool at age 5. Trick-or-treating for Plymouth residents continue from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. on all other roads. Town offices will be closed on Monday, November the 11th, 2019, in observance of Veterans Day. Is Steve LaFave still here?
Back here.
Steve, do you have any comments on the trick-or-treating, or other than what I read, you know, for merchants, or the reason for it?
Nope, I wouldn't.
If it's, if people are, we're supposed to get like some nasty weather at the end of the week.
Correct.
That
would be-
it's rain or shine, obviously.
Yes, that would be Larry Gibson's call, but discussing it tonight with him, he said it's absolutely a go. It's just too difficult to try and rearrange it and everything else, so it's gonna be a rain or shine event.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Thank you, Steve.
Welcome.
I didn't know whether we had any other comment. The chairman's comments. This board has always tried to be open and forward and let people know when things are happening and what the situations are. Therefore, if I can find it, I am going to announce the tentative tax rate. And again, this is tentative. The DRA will get the final next week sometime. Last year's tax rate for the town was $9.98. This year will be $10.44. This is the 46 cents that we, at the town meeting, that we talked to the people and promised we would try to keep. And we have done that. The county last year was $1.73. It's up to $1.83, which is a 10 cents per thousand increase. The local schools were $11.36 last year. They're going to be $13.87 this year, which is an increase of $2.51 per thousand. The state last year was $2.23. They've gone to $2.05, which is a 18 cents per thousand decrease. Our tax rate for last year was $25.30 per thousand. The new rate will be $28.19, which is a $2.89 increase per $1,000 valuation. We have on correspondence, I want to read this letter from John Keller. It is with deep regret that we received this letter of resignation from Plymouth Fire Rescue effective October 1st, 2019. On behalf of the town of Plymouth and the Plymouth Fire Rescue, thank you for your 23 years of dedicated service to our community, experience such as you possess, and the wise counsel you provided will be difficult to replace. We trust, however, that the friendships you made here will remain. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, and we look forward to seeing you at your firehouse in Plymouth when you're in the area. So that is to John Keller's resignation to Tommy Morrison. We have an appointment. Jeremy Bonin, appointment as Deputy Health Officer. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion, we accept Jeremy Bonin as the Deputy Health Officer.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor of the appointment?
Aye.
Aye. We also have a letter, the Office of the Select Board. This letter is to request appointment to serve as an alternate on the Plymouth Conservation Commission. I have been a resident of Plymouth most of my life, and I care deeply about the quality of the land and water around us. I have been attending the PCC meetings since last winter, and the students in my environmental science class at Plymouth Regional High School have been working with the Commission to update and expand the PCC website to make information about the town and conservation opportunities more readily available to the public. By serving as an alternate to the Commission, I can contribute to helping the town meet its conservation goals and help ensure a quorum is present when other members are not able to make a meeting. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me via email. And this is from Ina Ahern.
I make a motion that we appoint Ina Ahern as an alternate to the Plymouth Conservation Commission.
I would second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Joe?
Good job.
Good evening.
So we put the winter services out to bid for Boulder Point and snow removal and winter sand hauling. And Piper got the bid. So the winter services, they're both out of the same fund, but it's $30,000.
Okay. Any discussion?
So that's like a not to exceed,
What's that?
not to exceed 30,000 on,
That's what my budget has. So we'll see what winter brings.
that's you.
Yeah, this says blanket up to 30.
Right, and that's what I'm anticipating. This is right on track from what we had last year.
Okay.
With any luck, we'll have a mild winter or be less.
We have a motion?
Yeah, I move that we contract with R.M. Piper for Boulder Point road service plowing and sanding to, not the limit, but the total of Joe's budget of 30,000.
And they had it last year and they did a fabulous job, so it's great working with them.
Okay. We have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You have one more, Joe?
I don't think so.
The snow winter hauling,
I was just,
too. Is also
right, so the Boulder Point, and then the snow and winter hauling.
Okay.
So that one.
Is that both on the
Well,
same
the same 30?
They're two separate. So
purchase
Boulder
order?
Point is separate, and then the winter hauling is separate.
Okay, all right. So they're both,
Correct, so Boulder Point, you just approved.
all right. Do we have,
See, there's two contracts there.
Yeah, still the two contracts, but are the limit, they said they have a total of 30,000 again.
Okay,
Is that for the budget item that cover both?
covers them both.
Oh, okay.
oh, all right.
Oh, so both of these together are 30, it's not 60?
Correct.
Ah,
Okay, all right, that's where the confusion was. Okay, thank you very much. We voted?
No, we haven't said it this way yet. Is this, so we therefore we included this in the other motion?
No,
Okay, no.
I thought there was two purchase orders also.
All right. Well, it's different, actually, it's $90 per hour versus 85 for the other one. So, it's a different contract, I guess. So.
What's the total on these?
So each one says 30,000, but they come out of the same line item. So you could basically say if I'm gonna split it in half, it'd be 15 on each. So I don't know how else to put it except for that's what the line item is.
You just write them both on the same purchase order. So it should be a $30,000 approval.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to, can we
So-
change?
So we should probably
Well,
amend,
I've never
Amended
done it that
to
way 'cause it's
include,
two separate contracts.
include hauling and,
Yes, but you can put them both on the same, sorry.
Okay,
Two separate contracts, you put them on the same purchase order,
okay,
because they're to the same vendor.
gotcha.
you
All
wanna-
right, so I move that we accept this contract for snow and winter sand hauling service from R.M. Piper.
All right, any further discussion?
Oh, we need a second.
I would second that one.
All right.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we've got one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
So,
Three signatures. Want to sign it first?
Go ahead. Do we need to put all that on and then put it back in there?
Yeah, you can't do it this way. We're gonna create a new one, and I asked that we just put it in your
All right, in the box.
signature file so that we'll go by tonight's vote, but we either have to have 2 of these, 15 each, which is probably the easiest way to correct it now, versus 2 on 1 for 30. But you can't do it this way.
Okay.
Okay.
Next item is to vote to accept unanticipated revenue in the amount of $83,747.01 from the state of New Hampshire for municipal aid to be used for tax relief purposes. And this is already in the calculation? It is. Okay. We have a motion?
yeah, I make a motion that we accept the unanticipated revenue in the amount of $83,747.01. That's my motion.
I second that.
All right. Any discussion? Bill?
So I think it's kind of, the state is definitely lowballing shared revenue to the towns, and this is kind of laughable, and it's not helping our town at all, and that needs to change. And hopefully legislatively, we can increase the shared revenue back to cities and towns as well as education too, even though we're not accepting those funds, but, it's kind of laughably low, but.
Right, but we'll accept it, though.
Well, that's to be voted on. No, it's only it's pretty easy to forget that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much. Jane Hinckley? Is she here?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, okay. All right, Steve Rand. Come on down.
Okay. I will come down, but I basically want to hand it all over too, because I started this last
Stand there or you
weeks
can
ago.
sit.
Well, that's good. I like that. So, as you know, and as we warned you, tonight we're going to ask you to do a resolution, to pass a resolution that that agrees with the proposition that there is in fact a climate emergency and that we should promote. So I should actually read the words, otherwise I'll get off. Let's let Doug do that. If it's okay for me to yield my time to Doug, that would be just
right.
terrific, okay?
Go
Thank you.
ahead.
Yeah.
Good evening, all. Nice to see everybody here, and it's nice to be in a democracy where we can do this. It's not cut and dry, and it's not easy. We hope it's not like making sausage, but we feel like we are lucky to be able to be here and present this. I think actually the first thing I'm supposed to do is give you all, and we only did make one with some signatures, although the signatures are not that definitive because we only got Plymouth people to sign it and they weren't all there, and we just did this last night, but it's just a bit of an indication of the number of people. We have a group that's been meeting for 4 or 5 months. In fact, last night we had our monthly meeting with 50 people, and that's where the signatures came. But as Steve mentioned, we have been working on this for some time. And I will hand this to the chair, and then there's a copy of the wording. And
I already have my own.
You got one, okay.
Sorry.
So quickly, I think I would say, what the heck are we? Plymouth, PEMI, Climate Emergency Coalition. Where do we come from? What are our goals? Who's the good guy here? Who are the bad guys here? And we've done a lot of work and a lot of soul searching. And one of the things that sticks in my mind that came out recently is that people who believe in climate change and accept the problems have put every bit as much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere as people that don't believe in climate change. And the message is we're all in this together. So I think the inspiration, we'd have to pass it off to the Swedish activist Greta Thunberg, who said, come on, older people, come on, give us a chance. You say we're the future, but you're not going to give us a future. Do something. So really what we're asking tonight, it's not obligating the Plymouth Select Board to anything. We know it wouldn't be legal to ask you to spend money. That has to go to a warrant article. But we do believe that you have every right to set an agenda for intent. And I totally we appreciate all the work you people. You sit in these long, hot meetings. My time on the Planning Board and the Conservation Commission, I realize sometimes it's easier to be outside than inside because people on the outside can criticize. So I think if we get anywhere tonight, you'll have to be asking us to come do the work. There is work ahead. We don't know exactly what it is. There's no hidden agenda. It's not like we know what's going to be the solution, but we know something has to be done. And they say, have the courage to take the first step. And that's what we're trying to do tonight. The first step is simply to acknowledge that there is a climate emergency. And then the petition makes 2 very general requests that we work to keep fossil fuels in the ground and transition to a renewable energy future. We were thinking, well, that'd be pretty hard to object to. We understand that some people would object to that, but what we're here is to say, please help Plymouth take the first step. Holderness is meeting right now with the same wording at their select board. 6 people came over from Sandwich last night to our meeting. They're bringing similar wording to their select board. Campton is working on it. Even if they all pass, it won't make a huge difference, but it's a first step to let's talk about it. So quickly, we had three goals to begin with: to have the climate strike, to go to the Plymouth Select Board, and to go with a warrant article in March meeting. So the climate strike was pretty successful. We had, we think, 600 to 800 people that came. We had over 20 speakers. The town, the police, the select board, the road agent, everybody was really helpful. It went off without a hitch, I think. And we've been meeting as a group. We have almost 300 people on our mailing list, but that doesn't mean much. But what we do have is 50 people who will show up for a meeting, not all from Plymouth, but most from Plymouth. The warrant article will be a little more specific. We haven't come up with any wording, but it will be by a citizen petition, and other towns in New Hampshire have passed that, and we feel that that would be a logical next step. I think, really, that's what I have to say. We just hope that the select board will not see any nefarious intent here. We don't have an agenda other than let's get started. We know that the clock is ticking. We know there are a lot of children and grandchildren coming along, and we have to do something. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Doug and Steve. Again, I think, Doug, like you presented, the select board, can't do anything official. It's, again, going to rely on the warrant article and the town meeting in March. But, we're all in the same boat, and, we just need to continue to work, to make it a better place, to listen, be tolerant, and, do something for our children and our grandchildren. Any other board members have anything to say?
I would add that I know that the coalition would be interested in us passing a resolution where we say that as the town of Plymouth, we stand for moving forward and recognizing it officially. Just passing this as a resolution or a declaration, I believe is the other word, which I believe the select board would be able to pass.
Can we, Paul?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought we had previously done that for, to make Plymouth an ecotourism destination. Was that on the planning board?
Yeah, we did that. We did that several years.
So
The planning board did that.
Right, planning
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
That's similar, if not the same.
Do you
I
guys
think.
know, I don't know what that entailed. Do you know the difference between that and this?
Sure. So our understanding is that there is nothing in state law that prevents this select board from stating their opinion.
No, not that question. Do you know the difference between what the ecotourism concept is to this?
No, I think Brian, you have a copy of it, I think.
I don't have a copy on hand, Steve.
That was a formal resolution, like, whereas, where therefore,
Right.
Plymouth is, and that, the verbiage, I think, was actually crafted by Neil, and also with some editing, in town, but, I think we could make a simplistic resolve of the board, or, what was the other word that you were saying? The
Declaration,
Declaration?
yeah. To show that this is important to the town, and then we would also be a leader for the region and for the nation, I believe, in terms of small towns. 'Cause I think Portsmouth is the only one of the other towns that has done it.
But theirs was a warrant article.
Okay, so
So actually.
This would be a little different.
We're hoping for a two-step process here, because part of this discussion is about informing the public. So, just by being here tonight and showing them how many names that we have on the board outside, what the volume of support is for doing something about this. And we are the grassroots. We are right here on the bottom. And we are the folks who have to tell the folks that represent us that we must take action in order to solve this problem. And that is, that's democracy, basically. So part of our our wish in this is to set a small precedent for others who would follow us, and have them help the cause of this when it does come to town warrant meeting, and to publicize the fact that the town of Plymouth is actually maybe one of the most looking public bodies or governing bodies in this, in the state and maybe the country. And I think I think it would be really wonderful for this select board to adopt this resolution, or if you want to change it to some other word, that's fine, but to basically a straw poll of your interest in seeing to it that it is a part of the town's, it's the town's interest as well as the individual's interest to make sure that we do go forward with climate change. So for instance, at some point, we may decide to put solar panels on this building. We may decide to apply for funding. We may, lots of things, all of which will be supported by this resolution and the warrant that would follow. This is my sidekick and supporter.
Okay.
So would we just make a motion to accept this as written? Is that what we should do?
Well, this is...
Or do we
this
want to
is,
do more discussion?
Let's see, in the memory of the plan.
I think if your intent is to do a motion, you probably like start just the last paragraph. Like,
Correct, yeah, not the,
We
the
hereby
requirements.
acknowledge.
We just the
Select
hereby,
Board
yeah.
declares that we declare that we acknowledge the climate emergency and support efforts to promote local, state, and federal actions to keep fossil fuels in the ground. And just that
So
last,
are we
facilitate transition.
prepared to do that, or is that something that we want to have more discussion on?
Go ahead.
Just go ahead? Okay.
I have
Oh,
some
Mike?
discussion.
Okay.
So I would ask a couple questions. First of all, a statement. I am 100% in support of renewables. I like reusing things myself. I like saving my cardboard in a special spot so that it gets somehow becomes something else. Love renewables, and I commend the work that your committee has done, and I think there's no harm in doing that. I do have a question, and maybe I think maybe there's no teeth in this resolution. Probably we couldn't pass anything anyway. But a blanket statement of keeping fossil fuels in the ground, I'm not sure how we would, in our minds, justify the verbiage. Does that mean when we see someone going on a plane trip, for personal reasons and to go sightseeing somewhere, and they're going to be burning fossil fuels in the plane, is there kind of going to be pressure on people not to do the plane trips? Is there going to be pressure on those that have a second home and are heating that, or just the carbon footprint? Is there going to be pressure because the select board, being forward thinking, may want to vote for this? Is there going to be more scrutinize, are we putting contaminated soil along the river to get, the sail to go through for whatever project may be happening along the Pemmichwaset River? Are we ripping up things because someone needs a certain plant gone next to their brook or river? How do we, as a board, sign on to, or do we fill land along the river within a certain footage of the river because it helps us financially? So I'm wondering what teeth are in this, and by signing on to this, what actually are we saying?
I think, Mike, this is not in any way binding. It's just that the select board supports. Again, for it to be in any way binding, it would have to be in a warrant article and presented before the March town meeting. So
I could picture this wording going slightly different, where I could be 100% in favor and support all the efforts. But to say that the Select Board acknowledge the climate emergency and support efforts to promote local, state, and federal actions to keep fossil fuels in the ground. I'm not sure. I guess I don't get that part.
Go ahead, Dick. Yes, go ahead, please.
I think, Mike, it's an excellent question. In Doug's comments, Doug said, we don't have the answers. And you're not alone in questioning the same issues. But let me just say that we know something has to be done. We don't know what that is yet. We also know that 97% of scientists have agreed that we're creating a problem that has to be fixed. They're not necessarily saying how it's going to be fixed. This is an initial effort to wake up elected officials across the country. What we hope will happen is that Plymouth will be the example, along with other neighboring towns that you've already heard about who are going before their select boards. And that this will then go to the state of New Hampshire, and the state of New Hampshire will become the first in the nation, as it has in some other issues, to set the example for other states, to cause the federal government, which is where a big piece of the buck has to stop. We can't do this alone. This is a groundswell. This is an opportunity to say, you have to do something. The other piece of it is that it's very clear by, I think the number was something like 46 prominent national economists have gone on record declaring that an effort to keep the fossil fuels in the ground is the most economical way to clean up and the best way to clean up the problem of our decaying Earth. They've even gone so far as to say, we have an opportunity as a country, as a citizenry, to be leaders for our elected officials in DC, to cause them to initiate the right kind of legislation that will help explode wind and sun through solar, small hydro, unknown yet through research, clean energy, to replace those things. So whether we're actually able to keep fuel in the ground, fossil fuel in the ground, we don't know. Nobody knows that yet. But the economists are saying the best economy for this country and for this world is renewable energy and green energy and saving the earth. And you know, I could go on for an hour and talk about the tragedies. You all know them. Mm-hmm. But what's the point? If we can't get off the dime, what's the point? So this is a simple effort. It doesn't bind you, it doesn't bind us, it doesn't bind anyone. It is an effort to say, this is a flame that we need to light under the real decision makers.
Okay.
Sean?
Thank you, Dick. Mike?
So I would draw a simple distinction between this and what Neil MacGyver, who sat at this table, and I commend Neil, I give him a lot of credit, for starting something with the ecotourism. And I thought that was great for the community. And I think there's some elements here that can be good for the community. But it's a difference from what promoting our area as ecotourism versus, and I represent the select board for the economic development of Plymouth. And I'm just wondering how that might affect someone applying to come in and build something that this might show a little bit of
traction to possibly stop something like what happened 12 years ago with Lowe's along the river. We lost a lot of money in this community, and some of you were here just a little while ago when we set the tax rate. And so I think that we need to be cognizant of those types of things, but still yet, I think the wording could be improved to facilitate a harmony with development, with burning fossil fuels, because there's fossil fuels that were used to create the materials to build a building, to run the trucks for commerce in this country. So again, I commend the committee and the work that you've done. I would love to see something worded slightly different.
Bill?
Well, I think there is a lot of room for economic development for like solar and, so I don't think it's going to inhibit economic development in Plymouth. And I think this is simply just to focus, basically to show that the board of Plymouth, supports efforts. It's not really that we're going to be doing anything except supporting the need to, stop a climate emergency and facilitate development of renewable energy.
So when it says to keep fossil fuels in the ground, those are ambiguous.
So I guess support a transition to renewable energy would actually put or keep fossil fuels in the ground. We have electric vehicles. Trust me, Mike.
There's a transition east here. We know, the scientists say that we have 10 years, maybe 11.
What, can you explain, we have 10 years? Because I'm not,
Well, we
I
don't
don't think we
have-
should get hung up on that. I think
Can't
it's
get,
just a sign of support. I really, honestly, I don't think it's really, it's just in support of the coalition and then future legislation that might happen, and this is non-binding. There's no.
see, and I like some of the words that you're using, Brian. I think some of those words could have a lot more meaning than what this is, but that's just me. And I'm not disagreeing.
And I actually also think that a sign of support, acknowledging that this is happening will actually bring more business to our town. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So I think it's pretty timely, and I think that we should be supporting this tonight.
Any further discussion? We have the motion,
Okay.
the resolution. It's not, we talked to this group here, it's not a public hearing per se, so I don't want to get, excuse me, but
There's public comments later. There's public comments later.
So you initiated a motion.
resolution.
Yes. I said should we, but yes.
And I think I said, well, yeah, we can make a motion and say the select board supports or acknowledges climate emergency, blah, blah, blah. And I left out the facilitates a transition to a renewable energy future. But essentially, if you're looking, I would include that whole last paragraph.
Yeah, I was going to read, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
go
so are we
ahead and
ready?
read.
I make a motion that we, the Select Board, hereby acknowledge the climate emergency and support efforts to promote local, state, and federal actions to keep fossil fuels in the ground and facilitate a transition to a renewable energy future.
I second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against?
Nay.
All right. Thank you. All right, thank you, folks. We have a town administrator update.
Doug, Doug, what do you need from us? What do you need from us? Just a minute.
Thanks, Dick.
You're all set? Okay. All right. I didn't know if you needed a letter or...
Thank you.
We,
Hold on a second, probably.
I don't have anything.
okay.
Please stay,
At least till the end.
people.
We were,
Heather's staying, that's what all matters.
Is Marlon going to do an update? Is Marlon going to do an update?
I think he was here for that CCC thing.
How's it down?
we're with Marlon on the agenda?
No, I got PS.
No. No, he was here for Jane Hinkle.
Okay, well,
They're still not here.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, we haven't gotten there yet, but
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm gonna leave, do you want me to leave this here so that?
Public comments.
No, one of you have to...
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
The floor is open for any public comments on items discussed on tonight's agenda. Would anyone like to make a comment or statement? Neil?
I'd just like to add, well, if it may please the board, I'm Neil McIver, professional.
Put that up a little. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Neil McIver, professional environmental scientist and a lifelong citizen of Plymouth. And I rise in support of this motion that you just passed. It's in the spirit of the resolution that you passed in April of 2017, which recognized the town of Plymouth as being the destination for environmental studies and ecotourism. And I believe that this will add to the level of interest in the citizenry of the town in finding solutions to our environmental problems.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none? You haven't? Yes.
Yeah.
We need to go into a non-public.
Can I have a PSU report?
Oh,
oh,
All right, come.
I don't want to, it's a good report. I just wanted to show you all, this is what our students have come up with related to the crosswalk issue.
nice.
So these are posters. They are creating social media. And our plan is to launch this on campus and around town November 1st and continue it throughout the winter.
All right.
Okay? So,
That's wonderful.
yeah, so those are yours to keep.
I've noticed a lot of students that are crossing and waving.
I've noticed a lot of waving.
We've actually kind of started, I don't know, I hope that's why they're waving. Who knows why? So this is out there, but we're starting a full campaign November 1st. So
All right.
I just wanted to
Wonderful.
let know that we
Thank you.
took that seriously and our students are putting this together.
All right. Thank you, Marlon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We did skip over PSU updates, so we're going to put that...
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was on the agenda.
yeah, it was.
Gotcha.
Well,
Not on purpose,
I
though.
gave the update.
Okay,
Thanks, Marlon.
Thank you, guys.
I'm sorry. All right. We have a motion to go into non-public.
I move that we go into non-public session in accordance with RSA 91-A:3, A, personnel, and C, reputation.
Second,
Could we hold off on that? We have some students that need to get some,
I believe they're already signed.
oh, they are? Okay.
Are there any students that need left to be signed?
Do we have a second?
You sign that one, and I'll sign the next
Good.
one.
Did we have a
I
second?
see Dennis all the time.
Brian, second?
Thank you.
that's just,
Yeah, this is just the signature showing from yesterday, that people who were. Good night.
Hi, Steve.
Good night, Heather.
Well, do you need me in to stay for this?
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion?
Think you're gonna wanna be.
Aye.
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 Nice try.